And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this really fantastic little tabletop wreath. Now I call it a tabletop wreath because this wreath is just sitting there. So at the end of the Christmas, all you just need to do is take the wreath out, and basically there's a center ring that is on the inside, just like so, so things can either sit over top, so you can either have a candle that goes down through the middle, or you can just set it down and put something in just like so. If you are going to use candles, I do hope that you exercise caution when using candles with dripping wax on top of your crochet project. This is a great little tutorial. It's actually really quick to do. This here is about an hour and a half time of work. You'll be surprised, this is a bit of a yarn pig, so you will need about one ball of yarn for this particular size, and you can see the good size here. So let's get started on working on this tutorial. To get started, we need to create the ring that everything is circling around. This one here is a little too small for this big beautiful candle. All I'm just going to do is I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use some pipe cleaner because this will hold everything together when it's in place. And what you want to do is that you want to shape the pipe cleaner around and then slide it up over top so that there's a little bit of a gap, because here is where all that yarn is going to be able to compact onto. So if you make it the exact same size, you won't be able to get it onto the candle afterward. So that is step one, create. The next step we're going to do is that we're going to crochet around this ring. Now this would be the one if I was doing the candle, but I'm going to do a smaller version just for brevity to keep this tutorial relatively short. And so this is the interesting thing about it, is that this can be done with particular any size of rings that you can possibly find. And we're going to use a size 6mm or a size J crochet hook today, and the Bernat Holiday yarn, and this is also available in Red Heart Holiday yarn as well. So you can just mix and match, and you can also substitute any other colors or any other yarn that you prefer as well. To get started, we're going to create a slip knot just like you normally would, and slide in your hook just like this. So I want you to grab the ring, and we're going to crochet around the ring. So put the yarn hook underneath, inside, grabbing both pieces and pulling it up just like so, and now grabbing the yarn and just pulling it through. And what we're going to do is that we're going to single crochet. So here's the straggler. Let's keep that on the top of the ring, and so we're just going to come up underneath, grab the yarn from the other side, pull it through, and then pull through. Okay, so we're single crocheting. So underneath, pull through and through. And so what we want to do is that we want to cover up all of this ring so you cannot see the ring any longer, but I don't want you to necessarily pack in the stitches really tight together. So we're just going to go all the way around, single crochet. So what I mean by that is that I don't want you to come here and just start reefing everything so it's really tight as possible. You can do that if you wish, but you will learn as you go along in this tutorial that the more that you compact it, the more work you're going to create for yourself as you're moving along. Now the way I did the pipe cleaner is that I just rotated it around each other. So that's how it's all staying together. So if you do a ring, it could be a clothes hanger, it could be anything that you want. Just make sure that it's going to stay together and not fall apart after. So just crochet all the way around. So I've now gone all the way around, and now it's time to slip stitch to the top of where you started. Okay, so this is where you are. Slip stitch it by pulling through and through. And now I want you to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and exactly where you just came from, I want you to put 2 more or even 3 more double crochets. 2 more is better. Okay, and so the next stitch here, you're going to put 3 double crochets in. And what we want to do is that every time we hit a stitch, we want to put 3 double crochets in all the way around. So essentially any of these stitches right here that you're creating, you're actually, by the time you're done this round, you're going to have multiplied the number by 3 because you're putting in 3 double crochets per stitch. You will notice after just a little bit more that the wreath is going to start to crinkle in on itself and start doing some collapsing in really weird shapes, and that's exactly what you need to do in order to create this effect. So please continue all the way around in this revolution with 3 double crochets in per stitch. So I've now come all the way back around, and now it's time to slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain that we started off with, and just slip it there. And you can see now the wreath has some really wild twist to it. This is perfect because this is what's going to create that leafy effect when it comes to it. So let's chain up 3 again. So 1, 2, and 3. And again on this rotation we just want to come directly underneath to where it's originating for 2 more or 3 more double crochet. It doesn't really matter. This is the wonderful thing about this project. It's very forgiving. On the next stitch you're going to put 3 double crochets in, and you're going to continue to do that all the way around. So every stitch that you run into, you are going to put 3 double crochet. And again, what's going to happen on this one is that because you're putting in 3 stitches per one stitch, you're going to be increasing the stitch count all the way around again by 3, and this is really going to start really causing some major ruffling effects going on as well. So let's continue to do that, and we'll meet back up when you're finished that section. So I've now come all the way back around, and it's now time to slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain again. Now we're almost done, and we have one more rotation to go. What is the difference between this one and this one? And it's the edging. See how the edging looks really leafy and stuff? But if I pull it apart, what's happening here is that we have a chain 3 in between all of the stitches, just like you see here. So that's what we're going to do on this final rotation. Let's begin to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then on the very next stitch, I want you to just single crochet. Okay, and then 1, 2, and 3. Next stitch, single crochet. In 1, 2, and 3, single crochet. 1, 2, and 3, and single crochet. And do that all the way around. When you get back, I want you to slip stitch. And do you see how that's changed from being really leafy from being very nice and refined? So this is a great way to be able to finish off this wreath. So let's do that, meet back up, finish it off, and get on with the rest of the holiday season. Okay, so we're now all the way back around. You can tell how leafy it really looks now. Isn't this amazing? So the center of the ring is in there. So let's finish this off. So we're going to come back, and we're just going to the final 1, 2, and 3, and then we want to slip stitch it to where we started and pull through and through, and then we just want to trim our yarn. I just actually broke it, and just want to trim it off and weave in my ends. And that's all there is to this particular project. So you just got to trim that. So here's what we started off with. We had a ring, which is in here. So you can see how well buried it really is in there, just like that. So basically, if I had a smaller candle, I could just lay it down, just like so, and then put my candle right in the center piece, just like so. So that's how you complete your tabletop wreaths, and until next time, have a great day.